681, the LD1590, moves adoption. The clerk will read House Amendment C.
House Amendment C has a following number of H.
Chairman, Senator, Representative Newport, Representative Fredette, with the further reading of House Amendment, we dispense with this pleasure. House. Vote. Representative may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, first I'd like to thank the Speaker for the opportunity to serve on this commission. I'd like to thank the members of the commission that spent many days and nights this summer working on this task force. In particular, people in this body, Representative Les Fossil, Representative Rich Seibert, Representative Henry Beck, Representative John Martin, and Representative Joan Walsh, worked very hard on this task, and ultimately is coming forward today with a unified plan to seek its adoption here, Mr. Speaker. I would just like to say in the beginning that Maine is not Washington, D.C. In Washington, D.C., we see a paralysis on many issues, including fighting multiple wars on multiple fronts, economic conditions of near stagflation that don't get properly addressed, and a budgeting process that is done by continuing resolutions rather than setting priorities of dealing with priorities and a proper debt process to deal with those priorities. Here in Maine, we have been able to work together as a consensus within both bodies of the governor's office to pass a budget by 2/3, to pass regulatory reform LD1 by 2/3. And I ask this body today to pass this bill, which is a unified plan to redistrict our two congressional seats by a 2/3 vote. And I don't think that's insignificant in this day and age that we're able to do that. And we as a body are able to do that. We are here today because of a case brought before the federal courts called Williams Sr. and Senator Dunham versus the state of Maine. And in that case, essentially what was determined is that there needs to be one person to one vote, which essentially means that we have two congressional districts, and that the bottom line is that we need to have equality in the number of voters in both of those districts. The plan that we put forth today, Mr. Speaker, does that. And so, I think we've accomplished the task that the federal court has designated for us. It eliminates multiple concerns that we had in terms of the process going forward. We had possible federal action that could have been taken had we not been able to reach a consensus in the federal courts. We had possible state court action in the state Supreme Court had we not been able to reach a consensus. And we had a possible statewide resolution which could have also added some uncertainty to this process. And so that I think both parties have stepped forward and have stepped up to reach an agreement which provides a plan which meets constitutional and statutory standards. The plan has only a deviation of 1. It splits only 1 county, does not split any towns, meets compactness and contiguous tests, and is something that both parties have reached as a consensus. I think that that is a terrific accomplishment of both parties. I want to congratulate the leadership of both the House and the Senate, the governor's office, and the people in the commission. And I would ask that the people in this body today follow my light and support this amendment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes